That's a unicorn, right? It's like a hole in front of a unicorn.
Giants in the mountains, glowing fairies in hidden forests, unicorns grazing where no one dares to look. All these moments tell us that mythical creatures we never believed were real might actually exist, waiting for us to discover them. So let's begin. Sometimes the world doesn't need an explanation, it just needs to be seen differently. On September 2nd, 2025, a paraglider soaring above a frozen mountain ridge captured something that slammed the internet into a frenzy. A dark, towering figure marched across the crest of a mountain like it owned the place. And you're about to see why this single moment sent researchers, skeptics, and late-night doom scrollers into meltdown mode. The slow-motion footage is pretty intense. Tall arms, big steps, and a body that's just humongous. Yeah, whatever this thing was, it wasn't dressed for a casual mountain walk. And let's just be honest, aren't these proportions are too extreme? For it to be just an ape? People who watched it immediately believed this video, saying that this is the closest anyone has ever come to capturing a living Bigfoot in its natural environment. But you know what's even more interesting? Centuries of folklore also speak of tall, powerful humans hidden in remote forests and mountain caves. And not just this, old newspapers from the 1800s and early 1900s even reported giant skeletons being dug up from ancient burial mounds. A sighting surfaces that blends these two worlds together, the mythic giant and the elusive Bigfoot, converging into one colossal shadow walking across a frozen peak. But the paragliding video was only the start. Fast forward to South Africa. A hiker named Erlo sets out to install a trail camera and froze. A roar erupted from deep inside the trees.
This could perhaps work.
A scream so raw, so violent, so wrong that local wildlife experts couldn't match it to any known species. The recording blew up online, not just because it was super loud, but also because of its vibe. But these cases weren't the only ones, like the legendary Silver Star Mountain photos from 2005. These didn't blow up online right away, but over the years they became a big deal in cryptid culture. A solo hiker was just taking a simple landscape shot when they happened to catch a dark, bulky shape trudging through deep snow on a far-off ridge. Then comes the most terrifying encounter, the forest encounter video.
Filmed long before AI editing even existed.
Do you see that right on the ridge?
Yeah, hold on, I'm zooming.
It's huge.
It's walking upright. Oh my god. It's gone behind the rocks. It's gone.
A couple hiking deep into unknown woods filmed a massive shape pushing through the trees like they were just weeds. Thick arms, heavy build, zero hesitation. But then the creature stopped and turned toward them and released a low, guttural growl. Nobody knows what happened next, but the raw fear in their voices, that part is real. Bigfoot encounters rarely escalate into aggression, at least in the reported cases. But when they do, they leave behind the same bone-deep fear. These sightings happen in forests so dense and mountains so isolated that entire species could hide there for centuries. North America alone holds millions of acres of wilderness, barely explored by humans. And when you compare reports from Washington to British Columbia to the Rockies, the descriptions almost always match. Towering height, long arms, deep vocalizations, and an intelligence that's hard to ignore. But here's the thing, every time Bigfoot steps into the spotlight, one question grows louder across the cryptid world. If a creature this massive could survive in North America's forests, what else could be hiding in the world's most brutal landscapes? Because the gentle giant has a similar, yet a totally opposite cousin out there. A colder one, a tougher one, a creature built not for forests, but for ice. January 31st, 2024, Wasatch Mountain Peak. A near vertical wall of snow, a slope so steep that even elite climbers zigzag it like they're negotiating with gravity. And yet, something was walking straight up it. A snow surfer prepping for his run scanned the mountain for avalanche sign until movement caught his eye. He grabbed the best binoculars available on the ridge. Even then, all he could capture was a shape. A dark figure with long arms and heavy-bodied, moving uphill like it wasn't even trying. A mountain wildlife expert happened to be around, and even he couldn't figure it out. But one thing was obvious to him. This wasn't deer, it wasn't a bear, and definitely not human. And whatever this thing was, it wasn't slowing down at all. So what are we looking at here? To answer that, you have to go halfway across the world, into the Himalayas. The locals call it Metokangmi. Western explorers called it abominable snowman. And today we know the name Yeti.
Tales of the Yeti, this mythical beast from the high mountains of Asia and Siberia, have existed for thousands of years. And what they describe it as is a large, towering, fanged, bipedal creature that is covered from toe to head in hair, and it has the features of both an ape and a human.
A creature woven into Sherpa culture long before the first camera ever pointed at a mountain. Described as massive, white-furred or dark-furred depending on region, and strong enough to tear through snow drifts like tissue paper. Some monasteries even kept alleged Yeti relics, scalps, bones, even entire shrines devoted to their presence. And the most important detail? The Yeti was never a monster, and it was actually a guardian of the mountains. Except for this time, of course. And it's just one of many out there, and some of them are coming up next. But before we dive into those, make sure you subscribe to this channel and don't forget to share your thoughts down below. A man wandering through an undisclosed location stopped in his tracks. There, deep between the trees, stood a white horse, but not just any horse. This one carried a single, sharp horn rising from its forehead. The creature was grazing calmly, as if it belonged to that hidden corner of the world. Now you might question whether this clip is real, but I'll say this. It's from way before this kind of editing was even a thing. Still, it faced a lot of skepticism, and yet here it is, still getting people curious. But what exactly did he witness? To understand that, you have to rewind thousands of years. Across Europe and Asia, old manuscripts didn't describe unicorns as rainbow-climbing fantasy creatures. They described power, purity, and something biologically strange. An animal so fast even kings couldn't catch it, so strong it could fight off elephants, and so elusive it only appeared to the calm-hearted. The Greeks wrote about it as though it were real wildlife. Medieval scholars placed it on the same level as lions and bears. Indian texts described a one-horned Mustang capable of outrunning chariots. And over time, all those stories merged into one legendary creature, the unicorn. Not a myth, but maybe a memory. And just when you think the world couldn't possibly hide anything more enchanting, in the video, a glowing creature shot up into the sky, shining bright like burning gold. The way it moved and sparkled could only remind you of the legendary phoenix. This wasn't some light trick or a wild imagination. It looked super real, like really real. Honestly, the folks who saw it were seriously lucky because sightings like this are way too rare. Ancient Egyptians believed it was a sun creature, reborn from its own ashes every 500 years. The Greeks believed it could heal just by crying. Medieval travelers said when it showed up, it signaled changes, new beginnings, and the end of old times. And honestly, that's exactly what this sighting feels like. A moment that shouldn't exist, yet it's right there, glowing, flying, reshaping the night sky. But the story doesn't end with fire, because if the Earth can hide unicorns and phoenixes, then what about the creatures that belong somewhere in between? Deep in the forests of Mexico, one photographer spent long hours deep in the woods and eventually managed to film the majestic flying being. It was calmly gliding above the forest, moving as if the sky belonged to it. Now you may ask, what is this? Well, it's claimed to be a Quetzalcoatl. Many of you might be hearing this name for the very first time, but let me tell you, it's a mythical creature believed to exist in Mexico, and people there truly believe in it. Some Mexican legends describe it as a god, others as a guardian, some as a giant bird that could glide across mountains without breaking a single feather. But here's the thing, every one of these creatures shares one strange pattern. They appear on the edges of our world, and according to folklore, there's another group of beings that lives exactly in those secretive spaces. Small, bright, elusive, and you know the name, fairies. And the sightings about them? Those are about to push this mystery into an entirely new dimension. In Peru, a local man was wandering through the woods minding his own business when something tiny darted across his line of sight. Not a leaf, not a bug, something flying. Something was watching him back. He got closer, and that's when he saw it. A creature no bigger than his palm, glowing faintly, hovering with insect-like wings, but a body shaped nothing like any insect he's ever seen. And here's the thing, the moment it realized it's been spotted, it zipped downward and disappeared into a small hole under a tree, like it knew that exact escape route by heart. heart. That wasn't random behavior. That was territorial. That was something with intelligence. But then comes the pushback. Skeptics started throwing around theories saying it was just an insect, a stick bug, or a dragonfly. Nothing too special. But then someone shared their video shot by another explorer, and this one? Yeah, it really shifted the conversation. A strange creature hovered in front of the camera. At first it looked like a dragonfly, sure, but then the details start breaking the rules. The body was bright green, the wings shimmered with deep, shifting colors, and its proportions? Completely wrong for any known bug. Its torso moved like it was alive in a different way. Deliberate, almost graceful, like something out of a storybook that accidentally wandered into the real world. If you found yourself in front of something that looked like it came straight out of a kid's fairy tale, your mind would probably be doing backflips trying to make sense of it. And that's exactly what's happening right now. These sightings aren't just a one-off, they're popping up all over the world. It can't just be a coincidence. Because for ages, fairies have been seen as glowing tricksters, protectors of the woods, or little spirits that slip between worlds. Every culture has its own version of them. In Ireland, they're known as the Ayosi, while the Huldra freaked out the Nordics. Even ancient Persia talked about tiny winged beings living just a breath away from us. When that many different cultures describe similar creatures, maybe they're onto something real. Or maybe fairies were never imaginary. They may be too small, too quick, and too good at hiding. And now, with creatures appearing that match stories written 1,000 years ago, the real question becomes, perhaps these mythical creatures were more than just stories. Maybe they really existed. It's up to you to decide. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments below.